in determining probable cause. So ito yung nakikita namin na possible. I'm not saying that this is going to happen. But we are, maybe, the CA justices, maybe they're courting an administrative case, no? But, well, it depends on the interested parties in this particular case, specifically the family. Kung gusto nila mag-pursue, may interest sila sa kaso, they may do so. But we are of that belief, no? Na, of course, Supreme Court yan, So, yun yung sinasabi natin. That's why we share the sentiments of the OSG. And the OSG is a member of the task force, no? And we give our full trust and confidence to the Office of the Solicitor General to effectively seek a reversal of this nightmare. Of this, according to Secretary Roque nga, the past few days, which is a travesty of justice. Natatakot ako dito, ako personally. We are at the front line of the fight against media worker killings. Ang pakahirap maghanap ng witness. Ang hirap mag-file ng kaso. Ang hirap magpahuli ng suspect. Ang hirap mag-monitor ng kaso sa korte. Ang daming kung ano-ano. And then, sa isang iglap, biglang mawala. What about the other more than 100 cases that we're handling? So, that's my, kumbaga, primal fear. Ito yun. And, again, I'm getting very sentimental about this because 2 weeks ago, and I told Secretary Roque about this. Meron tayong isang kaso na hawak na media worker killing. The person of interest was dismissed, order dismissed by the ombudsman. The MR was, I think, rejected. And 2 weeks ago, before I think after Christmas, he was able to get an injunction from the Court of Appeals. So, well, I don't know. I'm not here to speculate or badmouth the Court of Appeals justices, but I'm not happy about it personally.
Okay, thank you, Raymond. Thank you, Undersecretary Joel Eco. Can we now have Presidential Spokesperson question? Alvin Baltasar for Yusek Eco. Microphone, please. Rose?
Yusek Eco, magandang hapon po. Pwede rin siguro sumagot si Spokes Roque kung after kay Yusek Eco. Sir, ano pong reaction natin doon sa parang timing nung allegedly pasya ni Justice Pizarro na mag-retire o mag-avail ng early retirement after the controversial decision tungkol kay Reyes?
I have friends also in the Court of Appeals, and I've been asking around the past few days kung ano talaga nangyari. I told some people to naman tayo as a former journalist, yung trabaho natin, tatanong-tanong tayo. Isa yung sa tinanong ko lang, is it true that that particular justice is retiring? Yeah, he opted for early retirement. Well, okay. That's all I can say. So, yun. And I think there is another view here that yung tatlo kasi, there were, out of the 5, 3 yung nag-approve, I think at least one, according to my source there, believes that may hirapan because may namatay na supposedly mag-corroborate dun sa witness. Pero sabi ko nga, teka, hindi ba dapat ano na yun? Mas maganda full-blown trial Mas maganda ang korte na ang mag-determine yan. Well, I'm not a lawyer, but yun ang, in my experience as, like you as a journalist, no? Puro ganun So let the court determine, no? Probable cause or until guilt. But in any case, yun nga, yung sinay ko kanina, expressly provided under AO1 hanggang penal conclusion. Talagang tututukan natin to. No, so that's why I'm going to reiterate that they were wrong in claiming that Secretary Roque had conflict of interest. Mula nung napatay si Doc Cherry 2011, I was director of the National Press Club, and we've been also calling for the immediate arrest and prosecution of the suspects in this case. And when I was president of the NPC, na-arresto siya, and we even issued a very strong statement welcoming the arrest. No? So as an conflict of interest doon, now that I'm part of government and I'm in charge of going after them, so with everything that Secretary Roque said and everything that I'm saying now, all fall within the purview of AO1. Trabaho lang naman namin to eh. And very explicit yung sinasabi. We run after them. So we provide legal assistance. We provide any assistance that we can provide to the family. We have been in close contact with Micaela Ortega and Mampati, no? Ever since, yun ang kausap natin eh. In fact, when this happened, I was already in communication with Mica Ortega as early as Saturday. Magkausap na kami and I told her, I assured her na pinag-uusapan namin to at pag-uusapan namin nila Secretary Roque at ng mga task force lawyers natin and members. And during our next meeting, we're going to discuss this. And I'd like also to announce that I have prepared a formal request for Soljen Calida, no, to take charge, no, to do whatever what has to be done, no, to seek a reversal, hindi lang kailangan ma-reverse to because as I said, for me this is a nightmare and kailangan pagtulong-tulungan natin to, otherwise tatakot ako na bumagsak yung ibang mga ganitong klase ng kaso. Hindi magandang example.
Okay, questions? No more? Thank you, Undersecretary Joel Eco.
Thank you, Bob.
Presidential Spokesperson Harry Roque.
Wala yung ating mga briefing materials here. Nadala mo ata. Meron pang iba. Meron pang iba. Oo. Yung,
Mr.
let me go to two good news first. Okay. Wala yung good news. Let's go first to the good news. The World Bank's Global Economic Prospects January 2018 report. We welcome the latest forecast of the World Bank in its Global Economic Prospects January 20 report, which cited the Philippines to be the fastest growing economy among ASEAN countries. With the implementation of the Tax Reform for Acceleration and Inclusion Act, the Philippines will continue to be one of the top performing economies as this will boost infrastructure spending. The big rollout of major infrastructure projects would result in a substantial increase in our gross domestic product for 2018. The timely implementation of our infrastructure program will be critical in bringing down the cost of doing business and making our exporters more competitive. More good news. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas in the October 2017 foreign direct investments net inflows, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas reported in the October 2017 foreign direct investments that net inflows reached 2 billion compared to 670 million last October of 2016. Foreign direct investment net inflows for the first 10 months of 2017 grew from year on year by 20.5% to US 7.9 billion. Netherlands, Singapore, Kuwait, United States, and Germany were our top sources of foreign direct investments in October 2017. According to the BSP, a significant portion of equity capital placements were channeled to electricity, gas stream, air conditioning supply activities. Meanwhile, other sectors that receive investment inflows were manufacturing, construction, real estate, wholesale, and retail trade. Now, questions?
Sir, in dollars yon yung 2 billion?
Dollars.
Okay, in dollars yon. Pia Reñada.
Sir, the Japanese Minister on Internal Affairs said that she expressed regret over the Comfort Woman statue erected in Rojas Boulevard. May we know how the President reacted to this?
I think we issued the press statement and we stand by the press statement.
So, sir, you're denying that the Minister
I'm
ever
not
said
denying,
those
I'm saying
words?
there's a press statement prepared by Malacanang and that's the press statement.
Sir, do you believe in that statement?
Which one?
Can you respond on the premise that she gave those remarks? Because my next
do not
question would
know.
then be how the remarks would impact on the relationship between Japan and the Philippines.
Well, as I said, there's a press statement issued. Not everything that goes on closed doors bilateral talks can be reported upon or commented upon.
But sir, Japanese media already reported on it because she herself admitted it during a press briefing or interview.
Let Japanese media report on it.
Sir, but is
Next question, please.
Will the Philippine government be doing anything about the statue at least, given how it has caused such
You know,
controversy?
the statute is not erected by Malacanang. What are we supposed to do? No?
But sir, it was
So-
it has the seal of the NHCP, which is a government agency.
Then that should be addressed to the NHCP. It's
sir-
not something that the President will act on himself.
Okay.
So, sir, hands-off ang Malacanang in this issue.
We didn't erect the statue, so it's not a presidential project, so to speak.
So the government doesn't see this as a diplomatic issue.
I don't think it is really a diplomatic issue, no, because our ties with Japan remain very strong. We have every reason to be optimistic that bilateral relations with Japan will become even stronger.
Celerina Monte?
Good afternoon, sir. Ako yung nag-text sa inyo yesterday regarding that. During the forum this morning, Gabriela said they're challenging you, specifically you, since you're a former counsel for another Lolas, the Malaya Lolas, when you were still with the private sector. They're asking you, they're challenging you na, I want to quote them, naghihintay ang comfort women and advocates na gumawa siya, meaning you, na positibong remarks na mananatilang statue sa Rojas Boulevard. So, can we get your reaction on that?
I'm presidential spokesperson now. My past involvements have become irrelevant. The President did not erect that statue. It's up to the people who erected that statue to do anything they want with it.
Sir, there's this letter daw from the DFA asking the mayor or the local government of Manila to remove that statue since the DFA is a national government, part of the national government. Is that the policy?
I do not know about that letter, and if there is such a letter, to confirm it, please ask Mayor Estrada.
Okay, thank you. Last questions? Philip Tubesa, to be followed by Lanesca. Last three.
Sir, good afternoon. Reaction lang. The camp of Governor Joel Reyes is asking the Court of Appeals to cite you in contempt of court for allegedly lawyering for the camp of Jerry Ortega.
Well, I welcome that, so I can probably explain to the convicted felon. He is a convicted felon, remember? What the role of the executive is, the chief executive. The chief executive is the chief implementer of the law. Every crime is prosecuted by the executive in the name of the people of the Philippines. Of course, it is the duty of the and obligation of the state to accord its citizens justice. I spoke in that capacity. I have no regrets, and even the President approved of my statements.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Lanesca?
Sir, sorry, I will go back with Japan, with the statue. Because the president said even before he won as president, he said that he will raise this issue with the Japanese if he wins. And he repeated that same statement 2 months after his election in August 2016. He said that he is willing to raise that issue when he goes to Japan as president. So, can we expect him to at least initiate compensation or any compensation or any deal with our comfort women, considering that there's an existing deal between the Japanese government and the South Korean comfort women?
I can only say again that diplomatic negotiations constitute an established exception to freedom of information because of the delicate nature of maintaining bilateral ties. I cannot confirm if the President will bring up the issue of the comfort women. What I can confirm wholeheartedly is that he values the very close bilateral relations that we have with Japan currently.
Okay, thank you. Last three. RJ, Philip, and then Joseph.
Sir, reaction po to Makabayan Bloc saying the President committed grave abuse of discretion for signing Train into law, which, according to them, was not properly ratified. Train.
Well, I don't think they are a court. Only the court can conclude that there was grave abuse of discretion. And of course, I have said it before that there's overwhelming presumption of regularity because of the enrolled bill doctrine that the train was signed by the Senate President and the Senate and the Speaker of the House before it was signed by the President into law. That's entitled to full respect from our courts.
They said, sir, it was not properly ratified due to the lack of quorum.
Well, I understand that they brought the suit already alleging this ground. Let the court decide.
Sir, on Veloso, is there any hope for a request from the president during to help her so that she could testify against her recruiters?
I don't understand what exactly the president can do in this regard. She's detained in foreign soil because of breach of Indonesian penal laws. She continues to be alive despite being meted the death penalty. But there is such a thing as sovereignty, and the matter is completely in the hands of the Indonesian government. Although I think the Indonesian government, by not carrying out the punishment of death penalty, has shown clemency on a daily basis.
All right, sir. Sir, can I ask one more?
Yes, please.
Yesterday, former Senator Bongbong Marcos said he will not stop pursuing his electoral protest even if the president would endorse him as a candidate for the next. Is there a possibility for the president to possibly to endorse him for the next senatorial election?
I'm not aware, and as you yourself said, a decision has been made by Mr. Marcos that he will not give up his election protest.
Okay.
Okay, Philip?
Hi, sir. Confirm na po ba yung trip ni Presidente sa India at the end of the month?
I do not, well, it looks like, but you know, anything can happen.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it looks like it's going to push through because it's a gathering of heads of states of ASEAN, no, in a summit with India, no. So I don't see why it will not push through, except if for some reason he decides not to push through with it.
Ano po maging agenda ng Presidente?
It's an ASEAN summit, so the agenda is set by the Secretariat of ASEAN.
There have been criticisms before about yung size ng delegations niya pag nagtatravel siya abroad. Will he have a leaner delegation this time around?
Number one, I'm not sure about the criticism. Number two, I'm not sure if it's really not lean enough, no? Because I've been on some of the trips. It's rather lean if you compare it, say, with the presidential trips of President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, no? I went to some of these trips as a congressman, and there were only one or two members of Congress accompanying him, and I heard anecdotally that in past administrations there were more members of Congress that were allowed to go on these state visits. That's what I heard.
Will there be fewer trips this year?
Well, as I said, the president is not keen on making foreign trips. No, he's not even keen on flying to Manila. No, that's the truth. No, so I don't think it will be a problem. I think he will lead by way of example to others to minimize foreign trips.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Joseph Morong.
Sir, yung sa teachers' pay, what's really the status? Teachers' pay.
Yes.
Sweldo ng mga teachers. Ano ba talaga, sir? Meron, wala?
Well, it's
Naasahan?
very clear. Even the transcript of what I said here is clear because I was based on the transcript of the cabinet meeting. He asked his cabinet members to find ways to increase the salary of teachers. I did say I did not know by how much. I speculated. It is true that my speculation could be wrong, but I did not unequivocally state how much the increase will be. I am unequivocally stating that the President ordered everyone to study how to increase the salaries of teachers.
Sir, yun pong sinabi ni Secretary Joke, no, na, well, I think yung context na yung 500 billion, kung double, no, hindi kaya. What does the palace think about it?
He
Kung
knows
hindi kaya.
best. He knows best. But as I said, it was not as if the President said, let's double, like what he said on the salaries of the AFP and the police. But what you need to note is that the President says he wants to increase the salary of teachers. He does not go back on his promises. He will increase the salary of teachers by as much as we can.
So, sir, the intention is there, no? Pero,
The intention is there. It will not be taken back.
so sa GAA, sir, wala yan, di ba?
Wala pa.
Correct.
Because
So,
we're talking
probably
about the
next
future.
budget na yan.
We don't even know when. But he has asked them to look for ways and means to increase the salaries of teachers.
So they can expect if some
Of
teachers.
course, in the same way that it took time for his election promise to double the salary of policemen and military, it will take some time, but it will happen during his administration.
And of course, between Secretary Jokno and the President will prevail, of course.
Well, of course, there's only one
Kakamata lang ng ulo sa
chief executive.
Or sir, other issues. Tapos nga
Okay.
lang tong checklist
Okay,
ko.
Joseph.
Sir, kay Ma'am Licuanan, ano yung status niya?
Well, as I said, we publicly heard Congressman Nograles complain about the trips. I said it helps if a formal complaint is filed because in all instances where the President acted, there was a formal complaint. I do not know if there is a formal complaint against Chairperson Licuanan. But I'm sure the President, because he reads the papers himself, knows about the trips.
So, sir, if there's going to be any action from the President, it should be prompted by a formal complaint.
It's just that the track record is where there was a complaint filed, there was an investigation, and there was a decision.
So, kung may mangyari man kay Director Chairman Licuanan, dapat meron mo nang magko-complain. Otherwise, if it's just news reports or allegations from several congressmen, that will not be sufficient enough for the President to do any action on.
I will not speculate now on what the President will do. I am just highlighting his track record.
Okay.
Official complaint, investigation, action.
Sir, yung kay Yusek Dino, nire-require niyo yung mga barangay captains to come up with a lista ng mga alleged or those who are involved in drugs. As a lawyer and as a presidential spokesperson, do you see anything wrong with that coming up with that kind of list?
None so far, because he just wants to get information on the basis of which the DILG should conduct an investigation. Now, there are two possible cases that could be filed, administrative for removal or criminal. So depending on the amount of evidence uncovered, either an administrative case for removal of a local government official could be filed, resulting in severance from duty of that public officer, or if there's more than enough evidence to establish even probable cause for a criminal case, then a criminal case should be filed.
No, but the process of drawing up the list, hindi ba siya, sir, medyo iffy? Kasi baka mamaya, since they're required, they just put any other name there.
There's, as I said, it's just a request to come up with names so that they could conduct investigations.
Okay,
It
thank you.
always begins with an investigation.
Thank you, Joseph. Okay, okay.
Sir, yung
last.
third telco, Korean ba to, sir? May pangalan ba to, sir?
It's not Korean. Why are you saying Korean?
Well, Martin said so.
I don't know. But I can only repeat that the President offered to the
third.
Chinese
Mga fourth pala,
premier-
China yung third eh. Yung fourth layer.
I don't know. I haven't heard about the fourth. I only know about the third.
Masabi niya, yung PTNT has already like a
I do
partner
not
ng
know.
PTNT.
Maybe you should ask that of Secretary Martin, but I know only of the third.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Malacanang press. Last, Philip. Last na talaga.
Sir, follow up lang dun sa barangays. Kasi the President mentioned before na 40% ng barangay officials involved sa droga. And right now, Yusek Dino is going to ask them to come up with a list. Di ba medyo problematic yan?
You know, I see no problem because all he wants is names to investigate. What's wrong with that? Because people should know, by way of general reputation, who are involved in drugs. I think communities know, no? But it's not enough for anything. You have to investigate on the basis of these leads.
Pero I mean, drug-linked officials coming up with a list. Kasi sabi ng Presidente, 40% ng barangay officials.
That didn't come from Secretary Dino. He was not yet in the ILG, no? At that time, no? So perhaps that's another lead that Yusek Dino should pursue, no? The already existing data bank that we have. But the question is there anything wrong with asking for a list? There's absolutely nothing wrong for as long as it will entail conduct of an investigation to verify the information.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Malacanang Press Corps. Thank you, Presidential Spokesperson
Thank
Harry
you.
Roque. Back to our main studio sa Radyo Pilipinas and People's Television.
Davao kasi kami, di ba? Side lang.